All right, Rose, I'm excited about this conversation. So let's talk about embracing imperfection and finding beauty in the flaws.
Yes.
So what's your take?
So this is very interesting because my thought is actually to challenge that statement. The word imperfection means that there's some perfect standard.
Oh,
And then the question becomes, what is that standard? Who gets to decide what that standard is? And does that standard work for us all? And I don't think that there's anything such as perfection. I feel like that is a term that sets us up for failure in a lot of ways.
a great insight.
And so I feel like, because what it does, it sets an impossible standard and no one really knows what it is. And sometimes it may move and shift. And you're trying to live your life to this standard while your life might be really great, but there's parts saying, have I hit that perfection? And so it forces you to never be satisfied with where you are. You always feel like there's a lack. That sets up that feeling of lack. And I feel like it's a dangerous thought. And it's because what does it mean? Nobody's ever really been able to define it.
The thing that popped in my head is that it's actually everybody's version is different. So I don't know that there's one version of it, which that makes sense, right? Your version of perfect. And I don't think we could ever get to our version of perfect. This is interesting because I would say this is something that I am not worried about perfection. When I paint, I'm not worried about perfection. I'm worried about finding beauty in the chaos. And that's what I'm striving for. But I do see a lot of people, I teach, so I see a lot of students. And then when I go out to speak, I see a lot of people who are trying to get to that perfect thing. The book that I read, it was the best advice I think I've ever heard about trying to get to like that thing out there. And it was that if you're always measuring yourself against the standard about your expectation, you never get there. Correct. But if instead you measure from where you're at right now backward, you'll be like, holy crap, I am so awesome. Look at all the amazing things that I've done.
Yes.
And in the book, I think it was in the 10x is easier than 2x, but in the book, he also says, no matter which way you're measuring, you're going to get so far. You're going to move. Right. But he said he would put his money on the person who gets excited that they're actually making progress versus the person who feels like they've never achieved anything.
Yeah. And that's why I'm excited about that. That's why I made the statement. I think that it's a dangerous concept because even if let's say we all agree that the perfection is individual. Let's say we even agree that is the case. What is that even? Because for me, I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that would be. I wouldn't even know what would that standard be that I set for myself. And I feel like similar to what the book proposed, I think movement is what matters.
Yeah.
Right? How much have I grown? How different am I in my relationships? How different am I how I show up in the world? How different am I when I respond to tragedy or stress or what have you? How have I grown is more important than some standard that really you'll never, it's not a fixable standard.
Right, even because it always moves away.
And it might shift by what you think it is. And I think it flies in the face of gratitude. It's contradictory to gratitude because gratitude is founded in being grateful for where you are and what you have now. If you're striving for something, you can't be grateful. It's hard to do both.
Oh, I feel like I can be grateful and striving at the same time.
But striving for perfection?
Oh, no. Because I don't even shoot for perfection anymore.
But even if you did, let's assume you did. How would you accomplish that? Is my question.
I
If
don't
you
think you ever would. And so therefore you'd always be disgruntled,
yes,
and you can't be disgruntled and grateful at the same time. So our takeaway for people is
be happy for where you are. To what you were discussing, look back and see how better your life is, how much richer your relationships are, how you've grown as a person, depending on what areas of growth you were seeking. And it doesn't have to be a big amount, just enough.